All right, welcome to this explainer. We are officially diving headfirst into the massive storylines, the intense tactical battles, and the historic records from the first two game weeks of the 2026 World Cup group stages. The stakes have literally never been higher, and the drama we're seeing out on the pitch, well, it's really just getting started.
So, let's set the stakes right out of the gate, right? We've seen some staggering upsets and these crazy, dramatic late goals that have completely upended everyone's predictions. The real question now is, which of these nations actually has what it takes to go the distance and survive the sheer chaos of this tournament?
Here's how we're breaking things down today. First up, the drama and records in Group L. Then, a massive heavyweight showdown in Group E. After that, we'll look at the desperate fight for survival in Group D. And finally, we'll track Scotland's historic knockout dream. Let's get right into it.
Starting things off with Group L, drama and records. First up, Ghana. They managed to grind out a massive 1-0 victory over Panama, putting them right at the top of the group. And honestly, finding a way to just grit your teeth and secure that opening result, it's absolutely monumental for their entire campaign.
And you've got to talk about the number 95. That is the exact minute Caleb Yirinki snatched the win for Ghana. 95th minute. That isn't just your standard late winner, it's officially Ghana's latest ever regulation goal at a World Cup. Plus, it makes Yirinki their second youngest goal scorer in history, right behind Hamidou Dramane. Talk about clutching up when your country literally needs it the most.
Meanwhile, over in Arlington, Texas, England grabbed a thrilling 4-2 win against Croatia. And we've got another huge number to look at here, 10. Harry Kane hit a massive milestone, netting his 10th World Cup goal. That completely ties him with Gary Lineker's all-time England record. And get this, he actually had to retake his penalty for the first goal because the keeper jumped off his line, but, he just stepped right back up and buried it anyway.
So, looking at where things stand, the picture is pretty clear. England and Ghana are sitting comfortably on 3 points. They control their own destiny right now. On the flip side, you've got Panama and Croatia. And remember, Croatia were finalists back in 2018. But right now, they've got a massive uphill battle, sitting on 0 points with negative goal differentials. Man, the knockout stage feels like a pretty long way off for them.
Moving right along to Group E, heavyweight showdown.
This matchup is just a fantastic clash of styles. You've got Germany bringing this devastating 4-2-3-1 formation, featuring that incredibly fluid front four of Wirtz, Musiala, Sané, and Havertz. And they're going right up against Ivory Coast's super physical, highly athletic 4-4-2 structure. Ivory Coast has that midfield block anchored by Franck Kessié and Seko Fofana. It is literally the ultimate test of attacking fluidity against raw defensive power and sheer speed.
Now, Germany is coming in red hot. They're heavily favored at -185, which totally makes sense after that absolute 7-1 demolition of Curaçao. But listen, do not count the Ivorians out. Ivory Coast's pace on the counterattack, especially with Amad Diallo out wide, could ruthlessly exploit that high line and all the space left behind Germany's advancing fullbacks. If Ivory Coast wins that ball back in midfield, they're going to strike with lightning speed.
All right, pivoting over to Group D, survival on the line.
So the narrative completely shifts here to pure desperation. Both Turkey and Paraguay suffered just devastating opening day defeats. I mean, Turkey somehow managed to take 30 shots against Australia. 30! Without scoring a single goal. Meanwhile, Paraguay just got completely dismantled 4-1 by the USA. And that's wild because they were known for this rock-solid defense during their incredible qualifying run. Both of these teams desperately need a fix, and they need it yesterday.
And making matters even worse for this do-or-die matchup in San Francisco, both squads are severely limping into the stadium. Turkey is trying to manage their young star Kenan Yıldız's calf problem, which definitely limited him last time out. And Paraguay? They're sweating the fitness of Gustavo Caballero with the muscular issue, plus Ramon Sosa has an ankle problem. When your tournament survival is quite literally on the line, these are exactly the kinds of injury headaches coaches absolutely dread.
So, how is this one going to play out? Well, analysts are leaning slightly toward Turkey to edge this out, maybe 2-1, and that prediction is really just based on their deeper bench options, plus the assumption that, hey, with that massive shot volume, surely they have the goal threat to finally put one in the back of the net. Plus, Paraguay has only won one of their last 9 World Cup openers, so history and squad depth are pointing slightly toward the Turks on this one.
Finally, let's look at Scotland's historic knockout dream.
This right here is just an incredible emotional arc. 28 years ago, back in 1998, Morocco completely dashed Scotland's World Cup hopes in the group stage. Fast forward to 2026, Scotland finally gets their first World Cup win in almost 3 decades by beating Haiti. And now, they face Morocco again, with a spot in the knockout rounds on the line. It's like a Hollywood script, just a perfect poetic chance for redemption.
But let's be real, they are facing an absolute juggernaut. I mean, Morocco finished 4th in Qatar. They are currently ranked 6th globally, and they even outplayed Brazil recently. To survive Morocco's unbelievably dangerous right flank, we're talking Achraf Hakimi and Brahim Diaz here, analysts are actually suggesting Scotland might need to sacrifice a striker. They might have to pull Lawrence Shankland or Che Adams and shift to a 4-2-3-1 just to get an extra body in that midfield to survive the onslaught.
And you know, Scottish midfielder Ryan Christie hit the nail on the head regarding their underdog mentality. He essentially said they aren't naive enough to think they'll dominate possession. They know they're going to have to suffer without the ball against a top 6 team. So they're fully prepared to sit deep, limit chances, and basically try to execute a flawless smash-and-grab game plan on the counter.
So from those record breakers in Group L to the underdog dreamers in Scotland, the storylines right now are just off the charts. With the margins being this razor thin and the stakes this incredibly high across all these groups, I'm going to leave you with this. Looking at the heavyweights, the tactical battles, and the injury crises, who do you think actually has the tactical discipline to survive this World Cup gauntlet? Really let that sink in as you gear up for the next round of matches. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and enjoy the games.